Hey everybody, welcome to the final recap of Celebrity Apprentice. It's the finale. So it's going to either be Holly or Bret tonight. DJ and Ivanka are already there. So they started off with a little mini recap of the season after Donald heavily touted that Bret Michaels was actually in the building. So from the recap, we find out that Bret is a beautiful, creative disaster. I mean, he can work it. He's got some good ideas there. Holly, on the other hand, she's just good at begging for money. Obviously, they both want to win. They do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. So we go back to the task at hand, and we left off last time where Bret was in need of his dolly track. But we find out this week that it's just not going to happen. He can't close the deal. So what does he do? He turns into rock and roll MacGyver, and he takes a cart with a stool and improvises, and bing bang boom, you got a dolly track. He gets what he wants. Holly, she's just not that creative. I don't know. Everything that she does seems so boring and like so factual. I'm thinking that she might be a little bit autistic herself. Curtis leaves, too, in the middle of the task. That's kind of crappy loyalty on her team. I don't care who's getting married, you know? They can get somebody else to cook for them. And she underutilized Maria, even though Maria's kind of a pig. But whatever. She's on the team. Donald put her there for a reason. So Bret forgot his script. And he totally winged it, which was cool because I think sometimes when you're under pressure like that, the creative things that you come up with are better than the ones that you actually planned out. So good going, Bret. And the losers return in the live show. Cyndi got the most applause, notably. And why shouldn't she? She's the funkiest. Chit-chat, blah, blah, plug my restaurant. Who cares? You were fired. All right, so it's time we visit the presentation venue. We're going back to flashback. Holly kind of saw Bret's label and was all like, ugh, I don't know. Why is he doing it this way? Blah, blah, blah. And then later on in the show, she was all like, oh, I liked it. Okay. Two faces. All right, so Bret's daughter, Rain, shows up. Oh, it was so emotional. It was wonderful. I loved it. I was almost crying myself. Lovely, but then I'm thinking, are they trying to sabotage Bret Michaels by having his daughter show up? Now he can't concentrate. All he is thinking about is his daughter. All right, so Summer, Darryl, Maria, Curtis, they show up at the live show. And Maria, yes, you're disgusting, but she got her chance to apologize, which I guess was okay, but was it really sincere? I have my doubts. So it's time for the presentation. Back in the flashback, Donald and the kids arrive. I love how they walk in. They're just like, hey, screw you, doorman. And they walk in like kings and queens. All right, so Holly makes her presentation. It was kind of blah. Commercial was okay. It was marginally funny. We find out the Make-A-Wish kid from a few tasks back is there. And I'm like, awesome! That kid is so cool. I want to see more of him because he's like a little baby Donald Trump. He's awesome. So now it's time for Bret's presentation. And I'm thinking he's going to rock it even though he's nervous as hell. But he's out there dying. And you can hear crickets, literally. And but then all of a sudden it's like, you know, the natural. It's like some miracle story. You know, build it and they will come or whatever. And people started going crazy, clutching their hearts in the aisles like, oh my God, Bret Michaels is so good. And then they showed the commercial and it was funny as hell. And people were like laughing like crazy. They were probably having asthma attacks. They were laughing so hard. All right, so at the end, Donald asked the crowd for a show of applause. And Holly got like almost no applause. She got pity applause, and Bret Michaels, people were going crazy for. So if that's any indication of who should win, it is. So Donald meets with the Snapple executives, and who's got Snappitude? It's a tough choice, they said, which definitely means Bret did better, but they didn't want to hurt Holly's feelings. So, It's time for the boardroom. Darryl Strawberry shows up, and they said, oh, blah, 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 you quit. You didn't win any money for your charity, so here's $25,000 of pity money, because why should your charity be punished because you're tired? and a quitter. So, yeah, then they broached the subject of Bret Michaels' Snapple product was diet and it wasn't fair. And I happen to like the taste of diet Snapple or diet anything better than regular full soda, full sugar drinks because it's like drinking syrup. And besides, my sister's a diabetic. So, yeah, I don't see what the big deal is. It should have been a non-event. But, and I think diet is probably more popular now anyway. So, and Holly, oh my God, gift, you got Curtis. He's a friggin' chef. How much better could you do at picking the flavor? And you totally made him do everything for you, including the negotiation, because you just don't like to step on people's toes, but you like to be a phone tiger and beg people for money. So, I don't sound bitter, do I? So, Bret used his celebrity and the whole Snapple thing and the branding and everything, but Holly couldn't do that, so I think she was a little bit jealous. She has to keep reminding everyone that her dad was the original Gordon from Sesame Street. That was then, this is now. What have you done, Holly? Holly was okay in the whole thing, but you know what? Bret was Snapple, not my words. So then Donald asked Summer, who do you think should win? And she's all like, I don't know. Hello, support the team leader on your team. She should have been, like Bret, of course, because he's better. But no, she had to be like, oh, what am I going to do if Holly hates me now? All right, so Bill Rancic and Joan Rivers arrive. They get interviewed by Donald. Everybody's in agreement that Bret should win because he's freaking awesome. He's a survivor. He's going to make it. Yeah. So then Holly and Bret arrive. Holly walks out in her sexy dress, and everybody's like, Then Bret comes out, and people are dying again. They're like, oh my God, Bret, I'm so glad you lived. All right, so his doctors didn't want him to be there. He was there against the advice of his doctors. I personally, even without his appendectomy, his aneurysm, his hole in the heart, the whole stroke thing, whatever, he should have won anyway because at the end, he got all the applause from the presentation and everything, and she didn't get anything. So it's pretty obvious that he should win. Barring his brush with death, he should still definitely win. So then they bring out Cyndi Lauper, and she sings, I'm Just Your Fool. All right. Let me just say the singing was awesome. Let's get to the bad part now. I'm sorry I have to do this. Don't get upset, Cyndi Lauper fans, but didn't she look like Harpo Marx? The crazy wig, the crazy bathrobe belted with this really weird-looking belt, and the stretch pants. When you get past a certain age, it's just not okay to wear stretch pants anymore. I don't care who the hell you are. And that whole let me be sexy and try and get on the conference table and then get off on this awkward like a dog rubbing its ass on the carpet move was just not classy whatsoever. I'm sorry. Critique done. All right, so then there was time for the final pleas. Holly, I'm not mean. My mom's diagnosed with cancer and I was there every week. And she was pretty bitter about the people who weren't there every week, even though they had important things to do. They suck. All right, and then Bret. Hello, he gave it everything he had, even before he got sick. So, blah. Snapple steps up and donates $250,000 so that both of the charities end up getting $250,000. So it's like a moot point on who wins. But hello, Donald says it's Bret. So congratulations, Bret Michaels. I just feel so nonplussed now that both charities are getting the $250,000. It's cheap. I don't know. But congratulations, Bret Michaels. And it's good that two charities are getting $250,000. So I guess in the end, everyone wins. So thank you, Celebrity Apprentice. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Till then, much love.